Hello, everyone. First, I would like to thank all those in attendance for joining this month for the information session for the American Pakistan Foundation Leadership Council South Edition. We truly appreciate your time and commitment to being here. My name is Iman Zahir, and I'm currently an intern with APF. A bit about myself is that I just finished my freshman year of undergrad at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I'm pursuing a degree in political science, and hopefully, I have the opportunity to minor in legal studies and business. Before we begin, we'd like to set some guidelines just to ensure that this session runs as smoothly as possible. I know it's a big ask, but if you would all like to turn on your cameras, that would be great. We'd like to see new faces, especially on a call that's about leadership. So, if you are able to, feel free to turn on your cameras. We'd love to see your faces. Thanks. Um, um, also, we ask that everyone does stay on mute so that sessions can run smoothly. But at the end, we'll have time for Q&As, and at that time, you can go ahead and feel free to unmute and ask any questions you have. Um, Now that we got the formalities and boring things out of the way, I would like to introduce our speaker for the day. She's a grad student at UCL and a former Sahat Kahani Fellow.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's session. And thank you, Iman, for that wonderful introduction. We're just going to go ahead and preview some slides. So, Iman, whenever you're ready, if you could share those, and we can hop in today's presentation. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's call. My name is Elisha, and a bit about me. I graduated from Yale in 2023. I studied political science and global health. I'm currently a master's student at the University College London studying population health. I was first introduced to APF as a sophomore in college, so some time ago now, and I, at that point, helped facilitate an event on the pandemic in South Asia that was being conducted during COVID. And later, I was involved with APF's PSA collaboration. I personally have a great interest in Pakistan, as I'm sure many of you do. I was the president of my undergraduate college, Pakistani Student Association. I've also, through APF and outside of APF, worked in multiple capacities for Pakistan. And I think APF is a phenomenal organization, providing an amazing network of individuals you can meet with like-minded individuals who are similarly vested in the region. So today, I'm just going to share some aspects of joining the APF Leadership Council, but also a little bit about our mission and our organization as well. And I'd highly encourage you all to be involved in some capacity. And we'll conclude and wrap up with a Q&A, and hopefully, if we have some time, some introductions as well. So can go to the next slide. Okay. So a little bit about what APF is. So the APF Leadership Council is a network of Pakistani American professionals, students, and allies who help empower the Pakistani American community in all aspects of American life, with the goal of ultimately building bridges between the United States and Pakistan. So our main goal and objective is to just establish this greater connection between those of us here in the States, abroad in Pakistan as well, to sort of foster intercountry relations. The Leadership Council is involved in APF programmatic support and logistical aspects. So if you're sort of interested in taking a wider initiative in helping with APF programming, which I'll talk a little bit about later, this is a perfect role for you. We have a few different expertises and areas of interest. So we do a lot of programming and events. Our main objective ultimately is to engage in lifelong learning and leadership development initiatives. We also want to ensure that there's a connected, empowered community across the United States and regionally as well. And we have an active research and blog. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to be involved in the APF Leadership Council. We can go to the next slide. So APF is actually a national organization. We essentially operate remotely with headquarters in DC. But beyond that, APF has 5 different regional networks. So you're here today because you're from the South. I forgot to mention I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm also very proudly from the South, although some may joke about that. But the APF has an extensive national network. You can be involved from the Northeast, the DMV, the Midwest, the South, as I mentioned, and the West. And these regional efforts are all concentrated in areas where there's a lot of Pakistanis. So in the South, I can speak for Oklahoma. We actually have a huge Pakistani community. Beyond that, I'd love to hear where the rest of you are from, but I know Texas has a phenomenal amount of initiative for Pakistan as well. So the regional networks are essentially meant to connect people within these areas, hopefully through in-person programming as well as virtual initiatives. So we can go to the next slide. So a pretty dense slide, but I'll hope to sort of break this down for you as best as I can. So APF has recently rebranded. We were actually in the books for about 15 years. And so this year we sort of brought up, we took a look at our initiatives and have revamped and reorganized a lot of them. And now we're looking for, I guess, leaders that also want to be involved within that process as we sort of go about implementing these initiatives. So we'll start off with career development. So the main objective here is to connect local graduates, young professionals, and those just aiming to meet people within their fields for mentorship opportunities, and for just connections and networking opportunities throughout the nation. So we're currently developing 3 different initiatives: APF One, APF Academy, and APF Summit. And all of these are with the goal of perhaps getting people involved within the similar fields, especially as Pakistani Americans are branching out within the areas that they're involved in. Civic engagement. So we currently have a Get Out the Vote campaign. This has also previously been conducted by APF in the last national elections, but we're really pushing towards getting people involved. The main objective of this campaign and ultimately of the civic engagement campaign is to build political literacy within the Pakistani community. So we really want to address the unique needs Pakistanis may be facing, while also recognizing our community is not homogenous in any way, but ultimately to encourage more active power within our communities. And then we have PSA, MSA connectivity. So as I mentioned earlier, we really hope to encourage younger students to be involved with APF. I think a lot of times when there are these like cultural initiatives nationally, regionally, a lot of those tend to be focused on recent graduates, college students, but we're hoping to sort of attract people from a young age as well, so they can also take an active role in sort of this generational impact of Pakistan and America. And we're particularly looking at areas with, as I mentioned earlier, dense Pakistani students. So if those schools have an MSA, obviously college MSAs as well, and PSAs to get them involved with APF programming. And finally, we also have a larger goal of community engagement. So just to celebrate the leaders and events within our community. So for example, we write webinars and blogs. I'd encourage you to take a look at those. Also cultural events. We currently have a Rising Stars program. So the theme for this year is Women Empowering Women. And essentially the objective of all of these is to recognize the professional and personal commitments Pakistanis have engaged in. This year for Rising Stars, we're focusing on women. And so we're just ultimately aiming to celebrate the wins of our community on a national scale and hopefully to raise more awareness about the wonderful work people in our communities are doing. And you can actually nominate people for the Rising Stars Initiative right now. So I'd encourage you, if you know of any women, to please be involved with that as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we also do have regional ambassadors who are currently working on establishing these growing hubs, which I hope you'll be interested in as well. And we have a bunch of events planned for 2024. We were most recently at the UPNA conference in DC, hoping to do a Pakistan Heritage Week, in the future a Cricket World Cup, along with a bunch of other events and programming. So just an idea of the past programming. I know I've been talking a bit about this, but I wanted to sort of visualize this for you. So in the past, we have done online webinars on Pakistan's political parties, Pakistani science fiction. We've had Pakistani authors come and share their work, feminism and the South Asian American community. We also had a campaign Urdu Bolo. So if you are sort of interested in these campaigns, we really work on like cultural awareness, but aim to synthesize that to reflect the diverse needs of our community, whether you're someone who has not been to Pakistan and are aiming to attempt to sort of connect with your ties, or you're someone who's recently moved from Pakistan. The APF really caters towards all different individuals and their needs. So, so the APF Leadership Council Leadership Team, the LCLT, essentially operates as the executive body of member-led and member-driven leadership council. So these individuals, if you're interested in sort of being involved, we ask that these individuals have high degrees of organization, willingness to work hands-on, are empathetic, diplomatic, and inclusive. And I'll just briefly go over this in case you're interested in any of these areas of focus. So we have Ahmad Mahmood, he's the chair of the LCLT, and underneath him, there are three branches. Faizan Farooq is doing the career development path, Misal Irfan on civic engagement, and Noah Swan on community engagement. And all of these are sort of focusing on different aspects of what we hope can be our impact as an organization. And we also have regional network ambassadors. So I am one of the ambassadors for the South, and we're currently looking for another ambassador as well. So just a few of the benefits to joining the LC. So we have national and regional networks, and you might be able to enjoy the following benefits. You get the chance to meet up with other members virtually or in person who are also interested in Pakistan. And you'll also get an invite to the APF annual retreat with the APF board of directors, whom I haven't mentioned, but I'd encourage you to take a look at our APF website and see the amazing work they're doing, and special guests as well as leadership as well. We also do have APF members only events. You'll be invited to take part in those. You can receive the APF Weekly, which is a newsletter sharing news and events about Pakistan and the diaspora. And if you're interested in sort of being involved with some similar sorts of information, I'd recommend you take a look at our LinkedIn. We're always sharing news about Pakistanis across the country and the diaspora. You also would get the opportunity to write for the APF blog and work directly with events and initiatives. And we also are connected through a WhatsApp community, so very Pakistani, to sort of meet with others and get access to a lot of different programming that individuals might be doing apart from APF as well. And all those who apply and are accepted to regional networks are automatically included within the national network as well. So just a bit of the logistical aspects of applying for the LC. So you do have to apply for the LC. There's an application that's available on our APF website. So if you are interested, we're essentially looking for individuals who have a great commitment and interest in community empowerment and building bridges, a promise to uphold the values of the APF Leadership Council, a positive and action-oriented attitude, and just a manner consistent with APS values that I've sort of touched on before. As a member of the LC, there are some dues that you would have to pay, but we do have financial sort of we're considering, I guess, and we also commit to attending 1 to 2 events a year. And obviously, we'd appreciate having a diverse array of leadership capabilities within the LC. There's no age requirement, and we really look and boast for a diverse array of individuals and candidates. And so I'd highly recommend if you're interested to sort of look at those opportunities within the LC. I'd say within my own experience, I've had a wonderful time connecting with other Pakistanis across the country. I'm interested in health, and so I've been able to connect with a lot of people in the health sector. But we obviously have people involved with the LC who their day jobs consist within finance, politics, a range of disciplines. So you really do get access to this huge network of individuals, which I think is one of the most phenomenal things about being a part of the APF LC. And, and so just to give you a bit of an idea of some upcoming events we might have, we are conducting an APF UN initiative webinar. So looking at the topic of eradicating poverty in times of multiple crises. We have two phenomenal speakers for that. as I mentioned earlier, a part of our civic engagement, we're also conducting this year's APF Get Out the Vote campaign. So we have these two initiatives coming up and a wide range of ideas and hopefully future events as well. We're hopefully looking to start planning within the regional networks as well. So perhaps we can see an event in person in the South region. But we have a lot of great things coming up. So I'd encourage you to stay active with APF in any way you might be able to engage. And that is all for my slides. It was a lot of information, but thank you so much for your interest in the APF LC. The APF LC, you can email us there. My email is there as well in case you have any questions for me. And as I mentioned, please be sure to take a look out for us on LinkedIn and other forms of social media. And now I will just open the floor to any questions we might have. So we can hop into that. Or I think we might have some time for introductions as well. So Henry or Iman, if you have any thoughts.
So, sure, yes. Yes, I think so. And also, too, if we can start with our members already from the LC who are here, I see a few already. If you wouldn't mind, to please step up.
Hi, I'm Sonia. Right now I'm based in New York, but my home base is St. Louis. I am a very new member of the LC. So I'm excited to start getting to work on any of the projects that are available and that I'm also passionate about, which is mostly healthcare because I'm in my fourth year of medical school. So I'm very passionate about mental health and anything that has to do with medicine.
I guess I can also go. Hi again. I was speaking earlier. My name is Iman. I'm based right outside of Chicago in the suburbs. And I'm also a bit of a more recent LC member as well as an intern. I joined back in May. Um, and something I'm super excited about is our Heritage Week coming up in August. We are basically centering around a whole entire week around Pakistan Independence Day filled with webinar sessions and discussions.
Hey folks, I'll go next. This is Mustafa Muhammad. I've been with the LC now for about 2, 3 months. I've been involved in a lot of the initiatives that we have going on. Something that I'm really excited about is the youth development group. So basically, we're focusing on individuals in college and even high school and creating programming around that, and also creating linkages between that generation, the generation that's predominant on this call, and then working on creating linkages to the generation that's ahead of us as well. And that's something I'm really excited about. And one of my favorite things about being part of APF has just been every single person that I have met is someone who is not, my cousin or the children of my parents' friends. So that's been really exciting for me, just to meet all these other amazing Pakistanis and learn about all the cool things they're doing, and not be related to them.
Hey guys, I'll go next. My name is Shujat Ali Shah. I'm based out of Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm an IT professional out here. I'm a little bit older, probably than most of you guys, but my interest is really, to get out there and promote Pakistan within the local community. And one of the things I wanted to ask is if you guys work with local organizations. I know we have one here in Cleveland called PAL. I've spent a lot of time in Buffalo, and there's like a Western New York Muslims there. There's an MPAC organization there. It'd be good to connect with these little local organizations so that you get more of a connection, more spreading the word out, if that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, Henry, I can sort of start off by answering this, and then if you'd like to take the reins. So yeah, I mean, as sort of regional bodies, we are hoping to foster greater ties with local organizations. I know there's a lot. I mean, you have one in Cleveland. I know we have a lot here in Oklahoma as well. So right now, we're hoping to just like gain more connections by hosting these interest events. And so we'd love to be involved. I think right now we're also focusing a lot on establishing greater ties with national organizations, but definitely something we're looking to do in the future. And Henry, if you want to add to that, that'd be great.
Sure, yes. And everything that you said, so thank you. And also, too, as you may imagine, we're sort of super small. Even though we have a good sort of a group of individuals here, we're small. So any sort of opportunity we have here for working with these other organizations who are already sort of doing some wonderful things, this is a this is something which we need to do even more of. So yes, we have a history of it, but we're also looking for that for the future. And I would also say here as well that you mentioned here for your age, a little bit older than actually most people. Well, I'm in that same boat, and they have a need for us. We all we sort of have a role here, whereas we're looking forward for those who can help us, yet we're also looking back for those whom actually we can help. So that's a lot of what you see here happening. The other side of it is you mentioned that actually you already sort of knew of some organizations in your local area for Cleveland. We need you here because of that, because you can serve as our way into the door. So yes, we do that, and so yes, we need you. And so yes, so if I haven't said, Mrs. Henry, and so I'm the sort of a director of operations. I've been here for 1 year, and I have my hands involved in almost everything here. So I've already met with maybe half of you already. If we haven't met, we should, and I'm here to help.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate that. And I do look forward to working with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think perhaps what we'll do, if all of the LC members haven't introduced themselves, if you would be willing to introduce yourself, your occupation, what brings you to APF, where you're located regionally as well. Yeah.
Hello, I can go next. My name is Ghassan Mahmood, and I am based in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm a second year PhD student at University of South Carolina. I'm doing my PhD in public health, focused in health economics and health policy. And I'm also a LC member, and I'm really happy to be part of the APF, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. If there aren't any other introductions, I think we can segue into a Q&A. If any of you might have any questions about APF or joining the LC, we'd be happy to take those.
Hey, this is Georgil. Sorry I didn't introduce myself earlier. I'm working at the same time, so just multitasking here. I'm Georgil. I'm based in Houston, Texas. Thank you all so much for the presentation. I wanted to know, like, what are the timelines for applying to the APF program? When's the deadline, and then like when could we expect to hear back?
So I can help here too. So this is open actually sort of year round for now. At some point, since we are getting so big so fast, we're really seeing a whole lot of scale. We're going to have to set that up, or maybe for fall, maybe one for spring. For now, you could sort of apply here right now. You will usually hear back from us in like a week. Then you'll actually meet with one of our members from the LCs, so they'll walk you through some more processes. And you'll usually know within like a week or two. We try to get you involved right away because we have so many things happening. It's more so, okay, where do you have passion, where we have a hole to fill? We will find a match. I can almost be certain of that.
All right, cool. Thank you.
So I could go next. So hi, everyone. So my name is Mariam Kiran. I'm a scientist, AI scientist. I am currently the group leader for quantum networking and located in Tennessee. So I got to know about APF when I was living in California. But I haven't been very active in the group as such. And now I've moved to Tennessee and I'm trying to get more involved. But so my question was, when we apply, do we have to say which particular area we're interested in to contribute, or we can have some sort of an information session on what are the different areas in which we can contribute?
So yes, we only have this sort of setup for the regions because we don't want to hit you with overload of information. If you're seeing something from DC where I am, you may not want to hear about that. If you're saying, hey, I also have an interest in this for DC, we can absolutely add you into that. So yeah, so that's not an issue. We're at a level now where we're starting to have things happening on the sort of ground. We didn't have that for a little while, so now we're seeing that. So if you have an interest for certain spaces, yes. I would also say that as we scale, we'll have even more spaces. We might even go through like the sort of state team. We might even have one for each of the states at some point. So wherever you feel like you have the best actual fit, and also too, where you have a need. If you're looking for somewhere that you want to work in a certain region, we can also help you there because we have a network there. So it's more so for helping you, if that makes sense.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I'm also just going to add the LC application into the chat box. So if you just want to take a look at that as well, it'll give you a good idea of what we're sort of asking.
So one thing I'll say very quickly as you're thinking about this, we're looking at this as we have some ways to help each other. We're here as a network. You may not even know what you're looking for, but that's why it's so important to be involved, because once you see how we operate, you'll see exactly where you fit in. For instance, we have this sort of like this mentorship program out there where we have it open for people to go to, but they don't know exactly where to start. Who should I reach out to? Should I reach out to someone who's been working in my field for 3 years, or someone who's been working there for maybe like 30 years? We help you with that. We help you actually match up with where would be the best fit. If you don't exactly need a mentor, that's fine. We need you for mentoring. There's a lot of things where no matter what you have in terms of your work experience or anything, someone out there with this network would love to actually hear from you. And we hopefully have someone who can help you. We have a lot of people within our network. And, this is only from the side for the sort of work perspective. If you look at it for life here, for social, for like these sort of cultural moments, whatever it is, we have some matches for you. It's a matter of you wanting to maybe move forward with the process and say, where do I fit in here within this network? And also too, one more last thing is, just because you're coming on board now within one sort of area, say if you saw some of those notes that we shared earlier, say you want to work on like this sort of a career development space, you're not actually stuck there. You could stay there for 6 months and then you want to move on and actually do something else. We have a lot of roles we need filled, and we have a whole lot of ideas. We just need help for getting there.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Usma Aslam, and I am not a typical candidate for your leadership council, but I've been involved with APF many years ago, and I'm still on the circulation list. I'm actually visiting from Pakistan. I'm based in Pakistan. So it's really good to see you guys, doing all this good work, and the vibrancy and the energy. Really, really appreciate, because I was involved a few years ago with Riaz Siddiqui and Masood Malik for establishing an arm of APF in Pakistan. I was actually the chairperson for Pakistan, but for some reasons we could not really form a group there. For certain legal reasons and so on. But anyway, I'm visiting, and I just got the invitation because I'm still on the circulation list. So I just decided to listen in. So my facilitations and congrats to all of you. And I wish you all the best. Really nice to see the Pakistani community, as well as, non-Pakistanis being involved in the group. So my best wishes for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I would also mention that while we have this call here, which is mostly for the LC, this is just one way that you can make it into APF. We're looking for people for different areas. For example, we have a sort of a board. Maybe someone's involved with the board, or maybe your long-term goal would be on the board. Well, this is a way to get your foot into the door for being with APF. We're looking for different ways to bring people in. So thank you for working with us for the past. We would love to work with you again for the future some way. It may be LC, maybe some other avenue.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, are there any more questions? If not, thank you all so much for joining. If you have any more questions, as you mentioned in the last slide, the APF email is there. We're all really excited to sort of bring about a dynamic team and would be happy to answer any questions you might have or connect over Pakistan or whatever it might be. And yeah, Henry and Iman, I don't know if you have anything else, but thank you so much for joining today.
Just one last thing. We have several different social media avenues. So LinkedIn and Facebook, if you just search up American Pakistan Foundation, as well as for Instagram. Also, our website is www.americanpakistan.org. So there's several different avenues of where you can stay updated with APF, whether that's webinars, events, in person. But feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn.
And also in that same sort of vein, we have like this sort of WhatsApp sort of groups out there where if you are in LC, we'll have some there specifically for LC. If you're not sure if you want to make that move yet, which is fine, we can actually add you into them. You just have to reach out to us. We'll add you into for these sort of national, for different ones for regional, so you have an idea of what's happening. So it's a nice way to see how we work from the inside. And then after a while, you may want to make these sort of a jump into LC. But I can assure you that if you're ready to jump into LC, now is the time to do it because we have so many things happening.
Right. Well, thank you so much again. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and I hope we're able to see you soon again as part of the APF.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you.